What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Art Therapist channel. My name is Eddie, and today we're going to talk about Ryan Garcia and what could be possibly happening to him.
Will you be right?
So today we're going to be talking about Ryan Garcia and kind of exploring some of his antics. Some of you may not be familiar with Ryan Garcia, and we'll kind of give a little snippet about that. But it may not be just a show to capture attention in social media and such. I think it might be more of a mental health challenge. This in no way is meant to insult Ryan. I don't know him personally. I just want to share my analysis based on publicly available information to help provide a deeper understanding of what's going on to this young man and other people who are in the limelight, and perhaps provide us a different perspective of when you see something out of the ordinary and how it can be applicable to you and me. I believe Mr. Ryan Garcia is going through an existential crisis. So who's Ryan Garcia? Ryan was born August 8th, 1998 in Victorville, California. He's an American professional boxer, renowned for speed, excitement, all around the total package of entertainment when it comes to boxing. He turned professional in 2016, signing with Oscar De La Hoya's and Bernard Hopkins' Golden Boy Promotions. He's really provided a lot of exciting fights and really known for his landmark victory over Luke Campbell. In recent years, Garcia has really been marked both by success and controversy. He faced criticism for being outspoken in nature, but recently he crossed the line. He was expelled by the World Boxing Council after he repeatedly used racial slurs against black people and disparaged Muslims in comments. WBC President Mauricio Salomon announced the penalty against Garcia on social media platform X, stating, "Exercising my authority as president of WBC, I'm hereby expelling Ryan Garcia from any activity with our organization. We reject any form of discrimination." Despite all these setbacks, Garcia still remains dynamic, influential. His net worth is $50 million, according to CelebrityNetWorth.com. So, this is a young man who really has had a lot of success at a very young age. So I wanted to share the reason why I wanted to make this video. Like I mentioned earlier, I've never met Ryan. I don't have any professional affiliation with him. I'm an avid boxing fan, so I've been keeping my eye on him. And at first it seemed like it was a show, but then I started to see major contradictions in his behavior, his personality, and his beliefs. This piqued my curiosity about what could be happening to Mr. Ryan Garcia. And I noticed the backlash he received was pretty harsh and well-deserved, but I wanted to provide this analysis so people can have a different perspective on what a young man in that position could be going through. It could be any athlete in any sport, but when you gain a lot of fame and a lot of power and a lot of money, that's a lot of pressure. I believe Mr. Garcia is going through an existential crisis. So this small little breakdown I'm going to provide to you what I think is going on with Mr. Ryan Garcia. You can actually think about it in your own life. Maybe you have gone through an existential crisis and you may not have even known it. So what is an existential crisis, right? Existential crisis in psychology and psychotherapy refers to a form of inner conflict. It's characterized by the impression that life lacks meaning and is accompanied by various negative experiences such as stress, anxiety, despair, and depression. So let's kind of go with that conflict. That's very interesting that word conflict is very interesting, and it's going to really help me explain this to why Mr. Garcia could be going through an existential crisis. So Ryan Garcia, before he got really famous, like I said, I've been an avid boxing fan. I've been watching him. He was a very expressively devout Christian. He would talk about Jesus and his savior, and there's no way without him. And that's great, right? Everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe. And, I think that any time that you try to live beyond, you aspire to live a lifestyle that isn't easy or that is demanding or has structure, it's going to be difficult and no one's perfect. However, when Ryan started getting more famous, I noticed he started expressing himself differently in public. Before it was a lot of respect, before it was a lot of control, and then it started getting out of hand. He used to make flamboyant statements, insult his opponents, and that's part of the boxing promotion lifestyle. You kind of have to do that to sell tickets. If it's controversial, people want to see it. It's kind of expected with boxing. But also, a third branch that was happening even before he became known in the boxing world as up and coming decent talent, he was becoming very famous in social media. In fact, he was probably more of a social media star before he actually became, popular in boxing. I would say that would be true. And with that influence came money. He became well known in social media, and he began generating money and influence before even becoming champion. So you have these three pillars, guys. You have Christianity, you have boxing, and then you have the social media lifestyle. These are three huge pillars in Ryan Garcia's life. Now, I would argue, and I don't think it's a difficult argument, those three pillars are different. They're not the same. And I'll explain to you how they're different. The Christian lifestyle, you have humility, don't lie, live a balanced lifestyle, live a humble lifestyle, live a lifestyle for others and not for self, and try to be the best human you can be. Honor your father and mother, don't steal, don't cheat, whatever. And in the boxing world, Ryan Garcia recently was accused of cheating and taking PEDs. There's always a backstory that, hey, he didn't know, whatnot, but it's there, right? And the boxing lifestyle is more flamboyant and it's aggressive, and it's kind of a show where you're trying to capture attention to sell tickets. So I would say that recently, Ryan Garcia, as he got famous, his boxing lifestyle with his loud antics and his previous way of carrying himself aren't matching. I would say there's tension there. I call it existential tension, conflict. Then you add the social media element to where, the social media, you're showing flash, that sells. Everyone knows that sells. And so I think that the boxing lifestyle is a boxing lifestyle of discipline. In isolation, you really have to put yourself out there and work hard and kind of disconnect yourself from people. That seems to be what the professionals say that you have to do. And it also contradicts with the social media lifestyle. It kind of contradicts, not being isolated and having an entourage and having attention and putting your life all on social media. I seen them running with a phone all the time, and it's just all about the show. So there's a conflict there too. Now, the reason why I think Mr. Ryan Garcia is going through a lot is you have to pick a master. You can't attend to all three identities within yourself. A lot of people believe, well, I only have one personality. You kind of have several within you. You have your personality, your identity as a father, as a friend, as a professional, how you behave in in your social settings and things like that. So we all have different identities. The thing is, you got to have one master. And I'll use Mr. Ryan Garcia's faith-based perspective. Jesus said you must pick one master. You can't have two. And psychologically, that makes a lot of sense. You can't follow two people. You can't have two CEOs. You can't have two masters. You got to pick one. And I think what happened or is happening with Ryan Garcia is he hasn't picked a master, and one isn't leading all the others. It seems like he's trying to tend to all of them because they all have a lot of value and a lot of meaning to him. And you have to understand the kid's 25, maybe 26. A lot of people are still trying to figure out who they are. A lot of people at that age are struggling financially, don't have all the amenities, don't have direction. And Ryan Garcia has all the money, he has all the fame, he has all the power, he has all the influence, he has everything. And sometimes that makes it even more difficult to figure out who you are. Now, how is this applicable to us as individuals? If you're going through a divorce, if you're going through a breakup, if you're transitioning from work, you had an identity associated with that relationship. And when you're transitioning, a lot of times you have to find something new to lead it, right? And so if you're still holding on to that other identity or trying to tend to that other identity, that's where you have that tension. And that's where you start feeling lost. That's where you start feeling like, who am I? So what's the solution to that? Well, It's the same thing that I would tell Mr. Ryan Garcia, that I tell you, you can only have one master. That old identity, if it's no longer existent or you don't want it to lead, you have to let it go and create a new one or hold on to another one. If you're starting a new life, the life that was, that's the old master. You can't hold on to that. You have to have a new idea, a new goal, who you want to be. It may be different, but it has to be something that's leading you. You can't hold on to the past. You can't hold to that old identity. You're going to have existential tension. And just like a bow and arrow, if you pull back hard enough and you shoot, there's enough tension and the arrow goes. But if you pull too hard, what happens to the string there? It snaps. And that's what happens when we have too much existential tension. We snap. I think that's what's happening to Mr. Ryan Garcia. He just has too many masters and he broke down. That's the content that I have today. I wanted to share something a little different for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Click like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back real soon. And remember, ego isn't your amigo.